How old were you when you had the accident?
23.
What happened to you?
I was riding a bike and
A motorbike?
going to work, a road accident. I woke up 2 weeks later and I had 10 years of surgery come up.
Oh,
To
wow.
that.
And you injured your shoulder? What happened?
Yes, it was. I broke the clavicle and pulled the plexus brachialis, so it's a paralysis. I pulled the nerves from the spine.
Welcome to Inside the Shoulder. I'm Kenneth Cutbush, and I'm joined by Dr. Saulo Martelli, who's an associate professor with me down at the Queensland University of Technology. Welcome, Saulo.
Thank you, Ken, for having me.
Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
So tell me, what's your position down at the university now?
Yeah, I'm an associate professor in biomechanics.
At the School of Engineering?
Yes, at the School of, it's a long name, is Medical, Mechanical and Process Engineering.
Yeah, right.
Of the Faculty of Sciences and Engineering, yes.
Yeah, right. Now, how long have you been there with us for?
2020, June 2020, so it's already 5 years, yes.
So you came up in COVID.
Yeah, exactly, right in the middle
our
of the
research
COVID.
group.
Yes, indeed. Joining the shoulder group here, that's what brought me in Queensland.
Yeah. So I thought it'd be wonderful for people to hear the journey of a scientist who's involved in shoulder research, and I thought it'd be pretty cool to have you as a guest on the podcast.
Yeah, it's as I said, it's not a linear path. Initially, something that I'm an engineer, mechanical engineering as a background, and then for personal reason, I had to start looking at shoulders, and that's what brought me to biomechanics in general. Got my PhD back in Italy in an orthopedic hospital,
So where was that in Italy?
The Rizzoli Orthopedic Institute.
And where's that?
Bologna.
And where's Bologna in Italy?
Up there in the north, in between Florence and Venice.
Yeah, right.
Right, this center of the north.
Is that where you grew up?
Yes. I grew up in a little city near Bologna that's called Imola. Some of you may know that because we had for a long time the Formula One racing there.
In your hometown?
Yes, it's the Autodrome Enzo and Dino Ferrari, when this San Marino Grand Prix. So yes, that's where I grew up. Motors were really at the heart of everything that we were doing there, and that's actually what got me in the end with the road accident. And
what happened to you?
I was riding a bike and
a motorbike.
Going to work, a road accident. I woke up 2 weeks later and I had 10 years of surgery come up.
Oh, wow.
To that. Yeah, it was a pretty big.
You woke up 10 days later.
I've been in a coma for 15 days roughly.
15 days.
Yeah,
that's a long time.
Yeah.
And you injured your shoulder? What happened?
Yes, it was. I broke the clavicle and pulled the plexus brachialis, so it's a paralysis. I pulled the nerves from the spine.
Yeah, right. So you had a brachial plexus injury.
Yeah. So there was a lot of neurosurgery in the beginning, and then a number of surgery to get the most of what's left, right? So transposition, arthrodesis, and then actually the arthrodesis was indeed what brought me to biomechanics, because I had the first arthrodesis. It was really uncomfortable. I had to take off the plate because it was cutting my skin, and then I broke it. I should blame myself because I went skiing, but in reality, I blamed the surgery that I had to took the plate off. And I was in the surgery room waiting for my time, looking at my X-ray, and I actually could see what actually was happening when they were doing my surgery, which was bending a straight plate on a very complex 3D shape that goes down from the chromium to to the humerus, there is a very complex path.
Can you explain to everyone listening what an arthrodesis is?
An arthrodesis is, well, you remove the joints. Basically, you have the two bones, the humerus and the scapula. They have some cartilage in the middle. They take off the cartilage and they fuse the humerus and the scapula.
Join your shoulder blade to the arm bone. So
yes,
join this joint. So
yes, and the scope of that is because since my paralysis of C5 and C6 made me, caused the paralysis of all the rotators of the shoulder, the deltoid, in that, but I have left some muscles that can move the scapula. So the only movement that I can make from to my humerus is because the glenohumeral joint is fused, and I move my scapula, and I do something there.
How old were you when you had the accident?
23.
And what were you doing at the time?
I was working in a company, industry machines for Bayern. We were actually making the boxes for the aspirin and all that type of stuff.
Yeah, right. Have you been to university before that?
No. As I said, when I was my teenager time, I liked to go skiing and then scuba diving. So I got a job straight off, and that's what I was doing. In reality, it was the accident that such a long time with surgery for 2 years. I had therapy done half a day, 4 days a week.
Yeah, right.
So basically, there was no more job, and there is when I started saying, okay, look, why not give it a go to the university and see. Engineering was always been something in the back of my mind, but when you're 20, you got a job, you got a bit of money, you can go doing stuff other than going to the university and stay for years.
So how old were you when you went to university?
25.
And where did you go? Which
University of Bologna. Yeah.
Bologna.
Yeah. And initially, I wasn't thinking about bones or anything. I was thinking about advanced materials. My thesis was initially thought to be in the U.S. with Boeing. And then I went skiing and broke my arthrodesis. Right there.
After you had the plate taken out?
Yes, after I had the plate taken out. And then there the idea was we redo the same process. And I said, no, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. So I did take a final year project at the University of Bologna with a group there that was starting using engineering methods for bones. I looked at the surgeon that was actually a little bit advanced in the way we were looking at things, and I actually 3D printed my plate.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
The actual plate that you have in?
Yeah.
You 3D printed it?
Yeah, I designed it. That was 2003.
And 3D printed in metal?
No. We didn't have 3D printed metal 3D printed back then. It was a sort of a model to show the shape and the design.
Oh, and then your surgeon then bent the plate to that shape.
Yes.
And then they sterilized it.
Yes.
And put it into your shoulder.
Yes.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, it guided the process there.
Yeah, okay.
But, that's everything started, and then. I was doing my PhD. That was a master project in bioengineering, biomechanics, and then I started to realize that we could do much more than just shaping things differently, but also adding to do with humans very much what we do with cars and planes. So build them and at the time of this, we design something, we predict the function that we will have in operative conditions. So that was the starting point. So I started with my PhD was with the orthopedic company Stryker, optimizing the design of a knee replacement.
Of a knee replacement.
hip replacement.
Hip replacement.
Yeah.
And what was your PhD on then?
That was actually that one. I was developing that was called a mini-invasive hip replacement.
Yeah.
Which I think we were quite successful in the bone implant things. So we actually, at the moment, there were a lot of push toward mini-invasive replacement. Back then, it was metal on metal. That metal on metal then failed.
Yeah.
But the shape and the contact of the bone, we were actually able to strengthen the joint much more than the early stages of those designs. So we got a strength that was 30% higher than the intact. So we were quite happy with that.
So you actually helped design a new hip implant.
Yeah, that
Pretty
was
cool.
it. Yeah. And in the end of the PhD, started to look into, in bio things, we have very standard type of techniques, right? But then there is a difference between what is standard and what happens actually when your device work inside people, right? So
Yeah, because that was the problem with the metal hip replacement. In the lab, it worked really well, didn't it? But when it went into a real person, because the lining up of the prosthesis was never exactly perfect, that completely changed the whole experience, wasn't it? No one was expecting that, were they?
Yes, it was. It was edging. It was actually reaching to the end of the range of motion and pitching up on the very end. So that was actually causing an increase in wear, and so a lot of metal particles were going up in the stream, and that poison.
Yeah, so people weren't expecting that, were they?
No, they weren't. Absolutely, yeah.
So, how did you get to Australia? So you were in Italy at the time doing that PhD in Bologna.
So during the design of the device, so that we had that question about what are the loads that they experience when they go in people, right?
Yeah.
And so we started looking into human motion. And using computer to predict those things. That was actually the link. I was at the second and third year after my PhD in Bologna, where I had a postdoc there, and I had to kind of move away a little bit. Looking into that part of motion, there was a professor in Melbourne that was one of my top list in my bibliography, Marcos Pandi. And there was a position open there, so I wrote him an email, and he brought me to Melbourne for
to Melbourne.
Years. Yes.
So what were you doing in Melbourne then?
In Melbourne, we actually started looking at those technology. I think that was one of the first where we could predict mechanics, stress and strain into actual real people as they walk. And that was done for osteoporosis. And so we started looking into the effect of exercise on bones, how different muscles cause different type of loadings, and so forth. So osteoporosis is, we know, is we age, and that's a good thing because our lifespan is increasing, but with aging comes a number of problems, and the propensity to fracture that comes with osteoporosis is one of those things. Exercise is one way of stimulates our system, right? So through mechanics, and so that was the core of that project there.
So what was it like coming to Australia? How did you manage to do that? Did you have to get a grant or a fellowship or?
Yes.
Or just got a job?
No, the first was just got a job. I was invited to apply for the position, and that was actually funded by the Australian Research Council.
How old were you when you came to Australia, when you got that job in Melbourne?
That was 2011.
And how old were you?
39.
39. Okay.
39, yeah.
All right.
Kind of. So he said, why don't you come in Melbourne? And so, yes, I said, I turned to my girlfriend. I said, are you marrying me? Are we going down?
Yeah.
And so we married a Saturday night, and the Sunday morning we flew to Australia.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You got married in Italy?
Yeah.
In Bologna?
Yeah, it was pretty nice.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Saturday night and Sunday morning.
When did you propose? Was that Saturday morning, was it?
No, no, a little bit sooner than that. It was, I think it was around April. We married the 20th of August on a Saturday, and the morning of 21 we were in the plane
Yeah, right.
to Melbourne. Yeah,
Okay.
and I was told that Australia is hot everywhere. And then it was August. We landed into Melbourne and was down. It looked like UK, everything green. So I wasn't sure to be landed in the right place, but yeah, that was it.
And Melbourne's a bit cooler than you thought?
Oh, I like Melbourne.
Yeah.
It's crazy weather. I've seen temperature changing 20 degrees in 30 minutes, but
Yeah.
it was nice. It was nice. Yeah, nice city.
So where to from Melbourne then?
So Melbourne, I had this 3-year contract, and so I was in a stage in my career where I always like research or getting into those things. So I had in my mind a sort of a in or out type of idea. So if you are getting some support, some grants, and you can actually build something, you stay, or otherwise you go back to do something else. I was lucky because for about 10 years I've been continuously trying to find, being founded by Australian grants that moved me first to Adelaide, where I've been for 7 years. When I got to Adelaide, I had Peter Pivonk up here in Brisbane, and you guys got a big grant on the shoulder.
Yeah.
I always been doing hips, and yes, I started with the shoulder in mind, but for a number of reasons, I've been always doing hips and then knees and then that type of things. And I said, "Are you coming up in Queensland to do some shoulder?" Yeah. And yes.
So is that where you always wanted to be in the shoulder world?
Well, I think that on that day where I was looking at my X-ray and understanding what they were doing, that this is something that I can help with. So that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay, so how's Brisbane treating you?
Brisbane is nice.
Your wife's still with you up here in Brisbane?
Yeah. Not sure how we managed that, but yes.
Very good.
Yeah. Got a son that is turning 12 in a couple of weeks. Time flies, really.
Yeah.
It's been another personal type of challenge. Yeah, nice but challenging.
Do you miss Italy?
Yeah, of course I do.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, of course I do. My family, all my family, and my wife's families are all in Italy. Still, they're getting old. Our son is the only grandson in both families, so yeah, make the math. And that's.
Does he speak Italian?
He does.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he picked up English first. So, well, both myself and my wife are Italian. So we.
What do you speak at home then?
Yeah, well, I speak in Italian with my wife. So my son has been in a Italian-speaking environment at home, and an English-speaking childcare and
so he's
school.
bilingual, is he?
Yes.
Right.
The childcare won. So
childcare won. Oh,
yes,
he feels his English is his native first language?
Yes.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, actually, for a number of years, we were talking Italian, me and my wife. My son was answering in English, and then we were actually going around in that way. Only recently, a few years that he's more confident with Italian as well. So we don't do that anymore.
He answers you in Italian.
You make a question in one language and you respond with the same language. That's what.
Yeah, right.
What happens? So yeah, it's fun.
So now you've received some awards in Australia, and can you tell me about those?
I've been pretty lucky for quite a lot of years. The first one that kept me in Australia was that is called Discovery Early Career Research.
Discovery Early Career Research.
Yes,
And that's through the Australian Research Council?
Correct.
Yeah, right. So that's fairly prestigious then?
What was sorry?
Is it prestigious, the award?
Yeah, it is. It is. It's very competitive. It's I was actually quite lucky to get that because I didn't know that it was there, and I just tried, and then they went in on the first go. So that was actually interesting. That was actually what I was. Let's say as an engineer, what I would like to have to make my prediction and my product right on the first go, right? So we actually develop a number of technology on combining mechanical tests and X-ray models to actually push that boundaries on what we can do on the engineering level. And after I finished that one, I was kind of lucky to continue with the future fellowship, which is another 4 years that is ending
also
up.
through the Australian Research
that
Council.
is finish up in the end of this year.
Yeah, right.
So basically it's all done. And that is basically how we can transport very accurate and precise experiment that we can do in the lab into someone else, living people going on the road.
Can you give me an example?
Yes. So basically, one thing that we are doing, I think we started as first or among the first, and then we are pushing it, is to use computer to predict clinical trials of joint replacement, for example, fracture risk. And so basically what we learn from the experiment goes into model where we can actually do that type of prediction. And that's important because, let's say you will have that information 10 years before they are coming out on the clinic, right? It does not replace the need to see what happens in the clinic, but it gives you the opportunity to screen what you've done earlier on. And that's I think it's important because, for example, in joint replacement, they have grown a lot. They have got to a level where if you have 10% failure rate after 10 years, designing an RCT study that can show you that a new design would be better than than one that is already in the clinic would be extremely expensive.
Yeah.
As engineering, my target though is to have the quality that we expect from our cars, right? When we go buy a car, we expect that one mistake over a million, that the Six Sigma type of engineering that the Japanese brought in the 90s. But we have certain expectations there. Can we do
And you
that?
were able to do that?
Oh, that's a dream.
Right.
I mean, that's a dream. But I think that we can do a lot in terms of.
So what was the
control.
specific application of your research, of what you were doing?
We applied that to joint replacement. So that
What joint
hips,
replacement?
yes, for the PE synthesis.
For the
we
hips.
ran them, yes, for the hips. We also have a number of studies that show that we can actually use those technology to predict the risk of fracture of individuals better than a DEXA does, right? So
how's that?
We got an accuracy of...
from a CT scan or an X-ray?
Yes, we can. The assessment of the risk of fracture for osteoporosis is done with the DEXA type of examination. So it's a planar X-ray, the quantification of the amount of bone that you have in the hip region, and that amount of bone is related to a number of fracture indicators. So they are looking at how you sit in the average of the population, and you are ticking the box if you're at risk or not.
Yeah.
Right. So our models do something similar, but they go through the calculation of the stress and strain that you're having when you're falling. When the risk that you have with falling, depending on motor condition.
Yeah.
And so, yes, we can get a little bit better. DEXA is 70% accuracy. We get to now 85%.
Okay.
And that's one thing. But also, you have more information about why that happens. What is caused by, what causing the risk, right? If it's is this more the risk of you to fall, or your bone that is weak, right? Where is weak? That type of.
Okay. So where to now? What does the future hold for Saulo?
Well, what we are trying to do is to push in this type of technology. For example, well, with you guys, you've been doing an awesome collection of data over the few years behind. I think that the next step is to see how those technology can predict what you're seeing in the clinics, and so then we can use in the new cases. Right, the first step is testing those. We have done that on hip fractures. We have done that on some joint replacement, but digging in why something goes wrong. That is still that 10%, that 5%. Why is that? Who is it and why?
Yeah, okay.
Right.
All right.
Right.
Very interesting. And Brisbane's it for you, is it?
Brisbane,
For
sorry?
you and the family, Brisbane's where you're going to stay?
At the moment, yes.
Right.
We bought a house that we built.
Yeah.
It was absolutely stressful going around, and I think that we bought a couple of years ago. We had a 6 months where prices were actually doubling every, I don't know, 6 months or something like that. And we decided I was not really keen to build something. I just said, I'm moving from Adelaide. I sell it there. No, that didn't work out. But we built. Yeah, it's so we have it. That's good.
Sounds like you're staying for a while. Very good.
Yeah.
So thanks so much for coming in and talking to me today.
Oh, my pleasure. Very nice. Thank you for having me. And I hope that this is actually interesting for someone.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for listening to this episode of Inside the Shoulder. It's been a pleasure talking to Saulo Martelli, Associate Professor down at the Queensland University of Technology, at the School of Engineering there, and one of my co-workers in our research group down there. If you enjoyed this podcast, please think of liking and sharing it on your favorite podcast platform, whether it be Apple or Spotify or YouTube, and consider subscribing to Kenneth Cutbush YouTube channel so you don't miss episodes in the future. Thank you for listening.